So I guess first question is when did you first hear about the protest? Do you remember?
So kind of leading up to the whole thing, like I said before, is the first thing I kind of noticed was Honey Badger mom. Oh, me sorry. Um. Anyways, was Honey Badger mom was assaulted, and I kind of felt like I wanted to go down there in that situation when that happened, but I didn't. And so that was kind of the first situation I seen, and then I had seen JD or somebody online, I believe, kind of post this video, and I was watching it, and it was like, oh, this maggot guy is gonna get knocked out. Like everybody in chat, like this maggot guy is gonna get fucked up, And well, that didn't happen, and I'm like, holy shit! But I've seen so many people around him that, like, no matter how tough you are, if you got like 10 pairs of hands coming at you, that can be trouble. And so I was like, and again, I think back to like 2019, 2020, our city was burning, Portland was burning. The Proud Boys were out there. I never jumped on that. I never jumped on that. And then I seen the Honey Badger mom thing, and then I seen this Tommy thing, and I'm like, well, let me go out there. Obviously, this guy knows how to handle himself. There's another guy out there who knows how to handle himself. That just puts, more pressure on Antifa. And so I heard about the No Kings thing, and I am trying to remember where I heard about it from, because I didn't have X at that point. It had to be one of the streamers on YouTube, because like I said, I didn't have X, and I'm not on Facebook, so I'm trying to remember, and I can't. But I think I saw it on YouTube. Oh, this is happening, and I forget which YouTuber it was. So, I showed up to No Kings. And I'm looking around. I'm like, man, this. Like, I seen a couple of neutral. Like, there seemed to be more neutral than just maggot out type people. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there was like, I think you, Patrick, he goes by Conspirator or whatever, something like that. Anyways, he was out there, and a couple other people, but it's like maybe only like 5 or 6, like, out there, kind of like doing the whole maggot thing. You know what I mean? With the flags and stuff. And I'm like, and I just came all in blue, so I was all in blue. I didn't have any maggot thing. And I seen Tommy was, he had a couple of hats he was giving out, and I said, hey man, can I get a hat? He was like, oh, that's for my buddy coming up. And his buddy came. He's like, no, I got a hat. So then Tommy gave me that hat. And there's a story about that too. Probably get into it later about some other things with that hat. But anyway, so I'm like, hell yeah. And at that point, I was a Tommy fanboy in a way. Like I'm like, holy crap, I got this hat. And so
He'd already went viral at that point for being hit.
Yeah, he'd already been like, yeah, exactly. Like, I mean, I was there for him, right? Like, I tell people, like, my saying is like, Tommy got me off the couch. I think Tommy got a lot of people off the couch, if that makes sense. You know, I truly believe to this day that the Patriot Weekend still has a lot to do with Tommy. I know a lot more people came in, a lot of famous people came in, whether it was YouTubers or journalists or supposed journalists that came in. But I still think Tommy was like, I wouldn't say the icing on the cake or whatever, but I'm trying to, I don't know, man, but I really believe it. He won't say it, right? And a lot of people might not say it, and that might bring drama. Oh, we were doing this way before Tommy, because that's been talked about before. But I still believe that situation had a lot to do with him.
Well, take me back to No Kings. So
Yep.
you heard about the journalist, you
Right.
saw Tommy.
Right.
So it was at least two things driving you.
Right.
But what were you feeling like to go out there to actually get up and go is another thing.
Charlie Kirk passed away, and people think because maybe you're conservative or you lean left, the minute you say left, there's no changing that. There's no, you're left, bro. You're either right or like. Sure, I had ideologies or some things that my friends, because I never really got political, but some things would happen, and then I'd be like, "Fuck Antifa, fuck the left," but some of your ideas are left ideas, and so, anyways, so I feel like maybe I was leaning more left, and then when Charlie died, I'm like, because I had watched Charlie, because I believed in a lot of the things he was saying, and just the way he did it. Like he would just beat you with facts, and he wouldn't be mean about it. And so when he died, I'm like, nah, this ain't right. And
did you feel like the left was like slipping out from under you, and you were like where did the left go? Now they're celebrating this guy's death. It no longer matched you.
Again, it's hard for me to understand why some of my friends consider that some of my ideology here. I mean, these are friends I know that I've been around a long time. So I'd be like, fuck Antifa. And they'd be like, well, William, some of your ideas are leftist. So they never pinpointed what that was. I never voted that way, if that makes sense. Right. I voted for Trump both times. Sorry, what was the question again, Ocean?
Just, I guess,
kind of how that switch happened.
Yeah, because the left sort of started to bleed into like normalizing.
Well, you see Charlie Kirk get murdered.
Right.
You see Honey Badger before get assaulted. You see Tommy going through this. And I felt enough was enough. And people asked what my goal was going down there. And I hate to admit this because it could lead to people thinking I had bad intentions. But I really went down there thinking I was going to have to fight. Like I was literally going to have to be back to back with this dude, literally fighting Antifa.
Even at No Kings? Or?
No. Actually, No Kings was a bit interesting. Because I didn't know the temperature. I didn't know. Like I just went. I wanted to be there. I wanted to. At that point, it was no idea of necessarily protecting Tommy. I just wanted to show up, maybe introduce myself, and I might have never showed up again. Really, I might not have.
So why did you come back?
Because of what happened on No Kings, really.
What was that like for you?
It was hard. It was hard not to really hit somebody. I'll be honest, man. Because the one dude with the whistle and stuff, right in my ear, dude. It was so bad. Tommy not knowing me, he had that horn or whatever. I don't know if it was the horn. He had the horn at the time or the mega horn, but whatever he had, like he looked back twice and he was like, "Oh fuck this!" Like, because again, we didn't know each other, right? I'm just somebody that showed up. He gave me a hat, and that was it. He had it. It's not like whatever. But he turns around, he looks, and I don't know if you remember seeing that or you got it on thing, but he literally blasted that dude out of my face. But the reason why I just kind of, when you watch the video, I just stood there because, man, I didn't want to do something to affect whatever was going on there. I didn't want to make the Patriots or whatever we were doing there look bad, especially me just coming out of nowhere. I had already kind of known about Tommy 2.0 in his situations. So I didn't want to be, and here I am looking like a fucking blueberry, bro. I'm all in blue. So I'm noticeable as fuck. And I'm like, and I got the little thing, the little American flag. Remember I had that little thing. It wasn't covering my face, but I had it. And I'm just like, I got to just let whatever happens happen. I can't be, a situation that makes whatever is going on bad, if that makes sense.
But Tommy defended you with that horn, and you felt like maybe.
I felt there was something there. The fact that he looked back and cared enough to be like, man, this guy's here. Get the hell out of his ear. Coming out, they were really on because I was the last person in line.
And y'all were a small group with 40,000 people around.
Man, it wasn't until I watched the video you made. I said, man, this guy got good content because I didn't know. I didn't dare turn around. And I know it's silly because maybe the back of your head is more type of dangerous instead of getting hit in the front. But I didn't want any part of my face getting hit with anything. So I just kind of kept forward. And it was so much aggro going on that I didn't want to turn around and be like, oh, F you or MAGA or God bless Trump, because, man, it was, but when you showed that video and I seen how many people, we were the parade. I don't know what they were doing at Waterfront, but when we moved through the streets, wow. I mean, that's something, no matter what, that's something I could hold on to. There's a lot of moments that I regret, and there's a lot of moments I was there for. Whether people hate me or not, I was part of that. And, I was part of that just wild situation. And
so, not to cut you off, but tell me what when you got home, what were you thinking after No Kings?
Well, so that situation happened with the thing in my ear, right? And then Tommy 2.0 actually got assaulted with like multiple times. One time with like a hoagie or a ham sandwich or something. He literally got slapped in the face with some food. And then they grabbed like his hair and ripped off his hat. And that's when I like took my hat that Tommy gave me and put it put it in my hoodie, my blue hoodie, because I'm like, they're not snatching my shit. And so, anyways, I put that down. But seeing him assaulted, and I'll admit to everybody, and I don't care, it's on video, or somebody might have it. The dude that did that to him wasn't Antifa. It wasn't some just random boomer. It was actually a dude in black bloc, and I maced the fuck out of that dude. And like he cried like a little bitch across the street. Man, he got hit so hard he didn't realize who it was in the crowd that did it. He just stayed there crying, and I have no regrets for that, man. Like maybe the macing should have happened right as it was happening, but like the dude went to try to run back. I didn't know what he was going to do. He had already assaulted him, so I juiced him. I'm sure there was cops somewhere there following us. If they felt like I did something wrong, they probably would have done something. But at the end of the day, man. So, anyways, I get home and I'm like, okay, that happened. I had heard Tommy say, "Hey, I'm going to ICE tonight," just casually to the group of people there, and so I went home and I'm thinking about the situation, and I've seen how volatile it is. I mean, they had been out there literally rioting, tear gas for blocks. I mean, I'm like, I got to go out there, and so I did.
That night.
Yep. And I introduced myself to Tommy more than just what I did earlier, because he remembered me from earlier, obviously.
But wait 1 second. In your house, you're getting ready to leave. You're getting ready to go to ICE. What are you thinking? What are you feeling?
I'm thinking it's going to be some violence. I'm not saying I'm going to do violence. No, not at all.
You're ready.
I'm ready.
So you just seen Tommy kind of defend you in the crowd. You had defended Tommy 2.0 Austin.
Right.
And you're like, I have a place here. I can see why people are out here doing this. And you're ready to go to ICE.
It's all this free speech that led up to it too. Like, so it's that day. It's like I said again in my head. I'm thinking, Honey Badger got assaulted. I never got off the couch. This happened. I never got off the couch. Blah blah blah. I never got off the couch. If I'm gonna be somebody and stand on what I believe in, I got to get off the couch. A lot of people can't. They're across the country. But if you're in Portland and you can, and some people got families, kids, and they're good jobs, right? TriMet, things like this, where if they get seen, they're going to get fired. And so, but if you can, get out. And I was able to get out. And so,
I can.
Yeah.
So you met Tommy that night. How did that go? What do you remember?
Just conversation, kind of being there. I really don't remember too much of that initial night, to be honest. I was just kind of there. And for quite a few days, I was just kind of there. It wasn't like we were locked in super tight, whatever. It was over, obviously a week or two that kind of formed.
So was that first week when Patriot Weekend happened? The first or the second Patriot Weekend, I guess?
No, it was the first one.
The first one.
Remember, because the second one was Rebel. Yes. Right Side Rebel, or whoever created that one. The first one just kind of, it was called that and just became what it was because Chad was here, Nick Sorter, Nick Shirley, Black Rebel, like all these people were here.
And the violence kind of amped up because all the groups were now.
I tell you what, man, the Portland police did it. And people say, well, what does that mean? Well, the Patriots, and remember, they weren't enforcing the jaywalking and all this stuff. So there was a big group of Patriots that were along that encampment, just kind of saying whatever to Antifa, and Antifa was saying shit back. And then the Portland police come out of nowhere and say, you got to get on the sidewalk right now. You're getting arrested or whatever.
And you're saying the Patriots?
Yeah, the Patriots were on the street, bro. The cops came over there and said, literally, get on the sidewalk. So they pushed all these Patriots up into Antifa. And then, man, it felt like there was a situation maybe every 5 to 10 minutes of like some little scrap or some little push or, a lot of people were fed up with it. I can't say currently that I appreciate what Cam did to me because he put a video out saying that I was going to shoot up the ICE facility with the title. But he got to the point where, man, his stuff was getting broken, smashed. Like they were just after this specific dude. And finally he was like, unmask these motherfuckers. I'm sick of my shit getting, man. So we just started, like, I mean, right or wrong, dude. Like I think honestly, like they're already considered terrorists. They're wearing these masks. That's what they do. They assault. They break things. They need to be exposed. You know.
So, but funny enough, at one point the MAGA group or the Patriot group, they also built a camp just like
Right.
Antifa did, and then they started wearing black bloc. At one point, you started.
I think I'm more guilty of that than a lot of people.
So, what was your thinking there? Like, why use it against them? Their own tactics.
Yeah, it is. It's just you know what's funny. So check this. We went to Seattle, and guess what? We were all doing. We were all in black bloc.
Right.
I'm not gonna say what my idea might have given it for everybody going black bloc, but I mean, I remember when I first went black bloc, it was supposed to be a joke. I was supposed to kind of scare Tommy, and so when I go around the corner, it was only me and somebody else who knew what I was doing, and that's kind of like what happened with this other guy, the other Patriot guy that ended up getting Tommy as well. But when I went around the corner, he was by himself, literally just sitting up. And he's like, bro, he turns his camera so quick. He's like, "You the biggest Antifa I seen, bro." And I'm like, I didn't want to like get him all amped up or worried, you know. So I'm like, "Yo, it's me." You know, I told him real quick it was me, you know. And but anyways, yeah. So they use that as a tactic, and it worked for me because I would stand behind them or beside them, and it would get super uncomfortable because I there'd be something, whether it was my helmet with the stickers that Trump stickers and make pedophiles scared again, all types of stuff. They knew what side I was on, but still, just having that. And there would be times when people would be like, "Where's P-Town Patriot?" Like Fat Mike was literally looking at me, "Yo, where's P-Town Patriot?" And so I literally, here I am, bitch. Like, like, um, but I think I own that the most. And then people like afterwards, oh, William was Antifa plant or something, and I hate Antifa, and I'll be back at ICE. Um, Obviously not associated with Patriot Corner, obviously, because there's that bit of whatever, and I don't want to typically piss people off there, but I'm going to go back and have my thing with Antifa.
So let's talk about so you got tight with Tommy. When did that feel like y'all were really clicking? When did that really settle in?
I'm not really sure, to be honest. It kind of was just organic. I just kept coming down, coming down. Um,
You were one of the first to say Tommy really needs dedicated security because they're really targeting him.
I think he did, and I think he does still. Um, I know right now it's seeming to be calm. Obviously, I think it's a lot to do with the weather, and of course all the restrictions. But there is that possibility. Like what a few nights back, they were kind of over by Chandler's, and then that situation happened, and he had a bunch of dudes with him. But they still, whatever happened to Bear Mace, that whatever happened happened. So it's still that weird possibility because the way I don't know how Antifa does it. Everybody says Soros funds them or whoever. Somehow they're getting around. They can be in DC and then back over here. They can be in Florida and then back over here. Like you're seeing the chicken, Antifa, and whoever. So somehow they're being funded somehow, and they can show up. And so and he still gets his shit slapped, and people there was a bigger black dude and a lady last night who slapped his stuff, and that big black dude. I mean, depending who you piss off, you never know. And then there's that little short dude they call him Beetlejuice from like Stockton. It's just all this stuff is I don't me and Tommy have worked out our stuff, and I still think he needs that element. You know what I mean? Like he still needs people looking out for him because.
Well, you told me that first time I interviewed at ICE that you were here to be a protector. So, what in your life drew you to doing that? Not everybody would say that or pick up that role.
Like my whole life, like in high school, I stuck up for bullies. Um, or I stuck up for the people that were being bullied. So I would go against the bullies. I would go against this. I'd go against that. There was a lot of abuse with me growing up. Um, I kind of protected my sister in that way, and so I kind of carried that. And through high school, um, and then was involved in a gang, a really big gang, and even in that atmosphere, I was almost the same way. Like if one of them went out to do something, I went out to do something. Good or bad or whatever, I just had that individual's back, and I built myself on that. I built myself on being the one that you can call on, whether it was the gang related stuff or say, "Hi, I just met you, we were cool, maybe we're drinking buddies, we're shooting pool." Next thing you know, man, hey, Will, there's a guy over here doing some crap. People knew that I was a person that they can call on, and I kind of just thrived on being that person. And again, just being on the streets, people are like, "Oh, you don't want to fight Tommy, you don't want to go to, all the bullshit, or oh, you're hiding in your house, whatever." At the end of the day, I can't handle myself, and I did want to be that, right? Like it may not seem like it in some of the circumstances down there, the way I handled myself, but that was my goal.
Yeah, absolutely.
To just protect him, man. And maybe I went a little too far. The whole trying to slap his shit and stuff, like, and then the macings or whatever. Like, bro, I just that was my goal, to let him have his free speech.
So let's dig into those incidents, because you came with good intentions.
Yeah.
The first time that I think the MAGA group or the Patriot group started to question your intentions was the tire slashing.
Yeah.
So what do you have regrets about that? What was that night like for you?
I don't regret that. But here's why. A lot of people only saw that video. They didn't see what led up to it. I'm not talking about the aggro that Tommy got. I'm talking about what happened to me to make that situation happen.
Right.
In one of the clips, you hear somebody say, "Oh, he kicked that cane out of Will's hand." So basically, what had happened is this dude showed up, whatever, blah blah blah. His girl was instigating. He came over there, was at whatever. He's pissed, obviously. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to walk across the street. I mean, nothing's happening here, like whatever. So I go to walk back across the street to where, Tommy's little corner is there. And I got this somebody handed me a $5 Red Bull. And I'm like, hell yeah, bro. Like, okay. And I just cracked it and I'm going to set it down. And he just soccer kicks that thing out of my hand. And when he did, you still look right there.
Oh, wow.
Like I'm still healing. So anyways, that is sliced up, blood going. I'm saying, okay, so now I'm pissed. So now I'm thinking, in my mind, I'm quickly thinking Measure 11. For people that don't know what Measure 11 is, if you assault somebody too bad, you get 7 years. That's a thing, and you don't get no good time. So I'm thinking, do I just beat this guy, like, or whatever? So his car was there. I go to the front tire. The front tire didn't work too well, so I go to the other one, and that's the loudest I've ever heard a tire, like, shh. I don't regret it.
I was walking by right when it happened. I was like, what just happened?
Listen, man, you interviewed me, and Nick Shirley interviewed me. And then that happens.
Yeah.
So I kind of regret it in that way. Because maybe it's like, oh, Will says this, and then he does this.
So let's talk about that. It's you came with good intentions. You came to protect people. You wanted to defend free speech. You also, I think, weren't familiar with like the optics of this political group, where everybody's watching everything.
Right.
So when you started to get pushback, what was that like? Did you take it? Were you listening to people? Were you questioning their intentions?
No, I actually did. Like I think the lady did AAA or what's the one where they can do it where you can do it for somebody else. Anyways, whatever. He got towed, and so I'm like, I said, man, do you need some money? They wanted me to give him 10. Can you donate $10 to him? I'm not donating crap to him. Somebody came up to me and said, my chat wants to know, William, will you donate? No, not at all. But the lady who got him towed, I was like, I'll pay for it. She's like, oh, it's already cut. We're good. And so, of course, people came up to me, and Mentally Ill Idaho came up to me, and there was like, I mean, I definitely got a talking to. It wasn't like William everybody was cool with William.
Right. They were concerned about the optics, right?
The optics. I mean, I obviously knew I was on camera because everybody was like confused as hell. Like, oh my God, there's 20 cameras. Why did he? I mean, you could hear him in the thing. But I did get talked to. That type of situation never happened again. But I definitely, and then some people later, when the drama started happening, they brought it up and they were like, well, why didn't nobody confront William? Trust me, I got confronted by a lot of people, but nobody said, William, you can't come back. Right. And so
the next big pushback from that group was Seattle.
Right.
We went for Halloween Eve.
Right.
I wasn't with y'all, so I don't know what happened. If you want to tell us what happened that night.
I mean, it's there for everybody to see. This chick came up to Tommy and I didn't realize the atmosphere of Seattle, and what I mean by that is there was a lot of people thinking we shouldn't go do like Tommy's whole trans thing because Seattle is like the biggest hotbed of like where we were at.
Yeah.
Could get dangerous. Like these people could actually jump out of their high heels and start beating your ass. Like, and I didn't know that. No, I'm serious. It's funny, but it's serious. I didn't know that. And so the whole time we're looking for Antifa, and everybody was kind of just. We wanted to counter protest at their headquarters because Seattle was supposed to be their headquarters, and it wasn't shit. People, and I'm gonna get to the whole thing, but people would be like, "Oh man, over here, dude," because some of us had walkie-talkies or whatever. We're driving cars, and yo, Antifa's over there. It would just be stragglers of us, or we'd walk by people, yo, bitch, fuck Antifa. They'd be like, "Fucking," and it was like we didn't know who was who. There was a group of people standing over there. I walked over to them, just looking at us, and we're looking at them like, "Fuck it, I'll go over there by myself." I'm like, "Yo, who the fuck are you?" He's like,
"I follow you on action."
Right. So we were following each other, man. And but anyway, so everybody was like, "Okay, well, let's go eat," and then everybody wanted to go down there to that whatever, And so we go down there, man, and these girls are walking. You can tell they're probably a little intoxicated. And Tommy starts off with it, and she turns back around. What'd you say? Fucking Tommy. And so I'm just watching, and she goes to reach for the hat. The problem in the video is like the spray is delayed, so it looks like it was like maybe 5 or 6 seconds after that. But I was having a problem with the old trigger. And then what happened with that is a BC preacher, I guess, was going around like this to kind of get that side of the situation.
You got caught. But to back it up, whenever you were at Pioneer Square, the exact same situation. Somebody went for a hat, used the mace on the Antifa guy, and it was fine. But in Seattle, I guess because of the girl, you started to get. Was it immediate that people were like, "What are you doing?" or was it online that people started?
Both.
Oh, okay.
It was both. And out of everything, that I probably do regret that one. I've never had to do that. Like I've never, you know what I mean? It's hard to explain. Like it's mace, it's still somewhat of a situation against a girl, and I'm like, never in my life had I ever had to do that. Like even back in the day, if I had problems, I had a homegirl. Like, oh, this homegirl did, or this girl did some shit to me. Maybe she slapped me or something. Go handle her. And then, but in that direct situation, that problem, I do feel bad about that.
You regret that
for a lot of reasons, not only mostly for BC Preacher, but just period. Yeah. And again, I was taking on this role and then not really understanding the role, if that makes sense.
All the ins and outs of
It's unfortunate.
But at the same time, you're in an intense political situation with groups, quick things happening. Like you can make mistakes. It definitely happens. You just have to learn and grow from it.
And I never carried mace after that. Cam Higby brought up that I had mace at the Airbnb, but that was in my bag in the car, and I would never carry it myself. It would be for like, yeah, no. I don't even carry it no more. But what I'm saying is, it was for like people if they needed it. And guess what? Cam was like, "Does anybody have mace?" And Will was like, or Tom was like, "You better not have mace, Will." And well, I did, and then I gave it to him. And at least in the video, he said, "Thank you for that." Yeah. Motherfucker, at least thank you for the mace that I gave you, right? Like you can talk shit and say I'm gonna shoot up ICE, how the hell would I be sitting here? Right? If that was verified, because bro.
Let's build up to that.
Yeah, so yeah.
When did you start to sense that, because part of it was also that you were streaming at one point. Like at the private situations where people were.
The bowling alley, I got frustrated because there was this group on X that I kept trying to get invited to, and they just, whoever ran it, obviously didn't want me in it. And so I guess BC Preacher went in that group and said, why is it streaming? And then somebody, a third party came to me, and I said, well, why? I was pissed because he didn't reach out to me. It had to be third party, and it had to be Tommy to tell me, hey, bro. But literally, Tommy was holding my phone too. And again, whatever. It was bad. I talked to BC Preacher that night after the because I went home early because I was hot, bro. I was heated.
Yeah, I remember. I think you streamed by yourself, like talking.
Yeah, I was heated, man. Because I was thinking to myself, all this stuff I do, and then everybody's gonna come at me for we're just having fun,
right?
And it was a third party thing, and this and that. So I was heated, man. And so
Danny was also streaming at the.
Nobody cares about that. Matter of fact, that video is still up on X, and it shows more than what I was showing. Mostly mine was my face. He's showing the kids and the women, and
so do you think they were poking at you because you'd already had the two with the tire slashing and the mace?
No. Or like if you mean why they didn't go talk to Danny about his stream is I don't think because not too many at that point. I had for some reason Danny's been there more than me, but because I'm Tommy's whatever, I had more streams or people watching it. More people were watching mine, and so I don't think I was specifically targeted. If that makes sense.
Yeah. So was there? They were upset because of the operational security part, which is fine. We understand that. Were they also upset about you getting followers and potentially getting donations and stuff? Do you want to dig into that?
Okay. So that's an interesting thing. A couple of people had messaged me and were like, "Why don't you stream behind Tom?" And that's when I initially had this like little chest rig thing I got. Because people were enjoying that. They were enjoying a dedicated person around Tommy, so they could see more than just what Tommy sees. They can see what's happening to Tommy behind. And then it also created a thing where they were actually able, like that dude that pulled the knife.
Right.
I got the best video of it because I'm right there and boom.
Right.
Like you see it. That there's no, and so people liked it, and they also thought, maybe it would be good as far as more kind of protecting Tommy to see what's going on around him. Because if somebody just comes slaps the camera goes down, and maybe there's something else going on other than just the camera falling. Who's going to get that? You got to realize a lot of people go back and forth, and not too many people are just focused on Tommy. They'll go down, they'll walk back, and so. But man, I started getting like followers. I started getting people in chat. It was getting to the point where like I couldn't keep up chat. People are like, "What's your Cash App? What's this?" And for some reason, to this day, I can't have a Cash App or a Venmo. I don't know why. I've tried reaching out, then they wanted me to do this wish list. I'm thinking, okay, and somebody else had come around saying, "Oh, maybe we need walkie-talkies. We need this. We need that." And so I didn't know how to do an Amazon wish list. Like I had made 15 of them, not knowing how you make it to where you can
do the strangers.
You know what I mean? Like put it over here and do it. So finally. The funniest thing is Tommy helped me set up the Amazon wish list. He actually had to do it twice because one time I accidentally deleted it. So he's like, "Well, come on, man." And so I made it again. And so what is another? Sorry, where we're going with this ocean? What else do you want to explain about that?
Well, we were talking about were they coming after you because of the donations? Like, was that part of it, or was
like we, as in like just the majority of people, or are we talking about Tommy himself?
Yeah, not Tommy, but like the group, I guess. When did you start to feel like there's a splinter happening against me when you're trying to help, presumably?
So it started with Oso, or however you say his name. He's a guy that supposedly has been down there for a long time. During my time down there, it was sporadic. From No Kings up until the drama, I literally been there every night except for maybe 2 or 3 nights, really, honestly. And then this person was sporadic for whatever reason. And when I started getting the walkie-talkies, he really wanted these walkie-talkies. Like the text messages with him are weird to say the least. But And again, I'm trying to explain. I'm sorry. There's a lot to it, man. There's a lot to the situation, more than what people see. So, on the way up to Seattle, Oso literally sent me, and I don't know if he sent Tommy some stuff, but he sent me this whole, oh, you guys don't shout me out, you guys don't do this, you guys don't do that. But he's always wearing this stuff and looks to be like he doesn't want to be seen. So I'm like, well, I'm sorry, bro. I didn't know you wanted to be shouted out, or you wanted this, or you wanted that. So that's kind of where me and his situation happened. And again, that's behind the scenes of the whole group. So this is kind of what was building up to lead to the craziness. Was these stupid walkie-talkies. But anyways, so he had sent this crybaby message as we were going to Seattle. All of us were going to Seattle. He sent this, oh, you don't shout me out. You guys don't show me respect. I got all those texts. It's whatever.
So part of it was annoyance about clout.
Right? So then that situation passes, and then I start getting these walkie-talkies, and somebody sent me some ham radios, which I guess are the big deal. Like, if you push the wrong button, the FCC is going to come after you. Oh. So, and then somebody else had sent some more walkie-talkies. Bro, the walkie-talkies is absolutely ridiculous. I said, which one should I order? Because this is supposed to, I call my comms guy. Whenever I said that in my videos, that's who I would be talking about. So I get these walkie-talkies, and then he sits down there for like an hour and a half, 2 hours, and he says, oh, well, guess what? For some reason, I can't program these because whatever. I guess something happened to where they couldn't be programmed. And what I mean by that is to have your own channels where we can be on our own channels. It's not just, oh, go to channel 6, and then everybody else can hear us.
Right.
So when I say programming, it's like their own frequency, their own this. So those didn't work. So I'm like, well, that's great. Somebody sent these to me. You told me to get these. And now they're just, I guess they sit there. And so I had to ask for more walkie-talkies. And then he said, oh, well, somebody was like, somebody else was like, oh, these ham radios are good. And I'm like, okay. And I don't know nothing about these. I don't know that they're more for the, I'm trying to say these ham radios down there is not needed. These are for like on the water.
Like 1 block radius.
You know what I mean? So it's like, so then I get those.
It was overcomplicated.
And I gave him one. So I had to order another one. And he's like, well, let me get that one. And I'm thinking, what is this? What is his intentions now? Because again, I don't know him too much. I really don't. I'm not talking shit. I'm like, man, I'm just giving this dude shit. Like, why am I giving just this dude shit? So then I ordered some other walkie-talkies and they come with their own little charging base, and you can do the same thing, program them. Handed those out to people, and they still have those. But it just became a thing with him, these walkie-talkies. Every couple of days or every other day, he'd want everybody. These guys got jobs, bro. Some of these guys got new businesses. Not everybody can just show the fuck up when you want to do all these, because he didn't want just one at a time. He wanted them all. And I understand if you're going to do something, you probably do want them all. It couldn't line up.
It's hard to organize, yeah.
And then he made a post or a comment where he was like, William, nobody liked you, bro. The only reason I was trying to meet up is so we could talk. Bro, you wanted to meet up because you were on these walkie-talkies and shit. So, because of that.
So he turned it into, I need to talk to you about your behavior. Is that right?
That people don't want me around involved in the group.
I see.
And so, the Airbnb is what, that was it for me.
That was
literally when I was sitting there and they were doing whatever the fuck they were doing in there, and what I was seeing, I was like, I'm done with it. I'm done right there. I was done with it. I had also been trying to set up talking to somebody else who was involved in America First, which I suppose, and I'm not, I could say this wrong, but supposedly America First is kind of like MAGA's failing, or MAGA is going to fail, so America First. And then all the stuff that we were hearing about Trump was in some weird files, which is proved to be some type of a joke. I think it's a joke. But at first it was like, damn, what if this dude really is on some shit? We got to abandon this.
Right.
Like, honestly, and I was, we were all drinking, and you know what I'm saying? Like, and everybody's under agreement, like, oh shit, if this dude, we're not believing that Trump's in some shit and done some shit, but if he did.
You're like spinning alternatives, yeah.
I'm like, I got to go America First. Because I'm still loving our country. I love ICE. I love the police. So I got to do something. So then I actually did start looking at America First, and
I think that's normal, man. Just as It's not like you're going to a protest, so there's all these different political ideas coming out. But for you, the politics and the group dynamic both started to slip there at the Airbnb.
Yeah. And again, it's a lot of things that built up to that point. I had also been just, like I said, every night I was out there. And people think I've made a lot of money. People think I got a lot of stuff. I did get some donations. Literally, legit, bro. The whole time I was out there, I probably made $160.
Right. No one's making.
So no, and I'm not out there to make money. And Tommy never said, "Okay, we're going to pay you." There was none of that. Matter of fact, I told Tommy, if anybody ever says this is for Will and you, no, it's for you. Because when we would go places, Tommy would pay for my food. I was okay with that. But and again, I'm not saying this because I'm mad. That was not a situation. But people think that I made a big bunch of money off of people.
Right. Well, that's what they say about everybody's streaming. Right. There, but the reality is you're making like a few cents.
And then I realized kind of grifting, kind of the basicness to it is just fraud. And to this day, I don't believe anybody down there is doing fraud. They have their own followers, their own people. If they get somebody donates to them, why is that fraud? Now I can see if somebody like that one joker, that black dude that came out from somewhere, and then like literally he went up to Tommy's fucking camera. It was like, bro, if he doesn't apologize, I'm dragging his ass out. I mean, he stood on it because there he goes, apologize, and he drags him out.
It was like and an engineered fire.
Bro. Yeah. And then like a couple hours later, I see the coffee he has. It's like a Starbucks coffee. It's like a $13 coffee, and he's saying, "Hey, I need $1,000 to get home." Now that's grifting.
Yes.
Facts. Right. But I got called out for that. So I said, "Don't come back to Portland." And then BC Preacher and then Black Rebel, and they're like, you can't say that. Well, that's grifting.
Yeah.
Call me wrong on a lot of things. That's grifting. But like, I still think that everyone, and there's a lot of them now that have it's like almost everybody has. Shane never pulls out his camera. I like Shane. Shane's cool. Like, he may hate me now because he thinks I'm friends with that frog guy. Shane, or no, Seth. Because I made some dumb comments, and I was like, I'm going to give this frog. Anyways, but Shane called the police ahead of time and said, "Yo, I'm going to come down there with this." He was down there with his rifle and shit. Like, Shane's cool. Never seen his phone out. Now Shane has got his, like, everybody's got their phone out. I'm not mad about it. Do what you do. It's more eyes on the situation. Like, so
what's his name?
I just want to add a little bit more to it. Go ahead. So just kind of how it was more than just 1 or 2, 3 things that turned me off. I feel our goal was accomplished. There's no camps. There's no directing traffic. ICE can go back and forth. I felt like that battle was won. And so then I'm still down there with Tommy. He's chasing Richard around. He's kind of chasing people to their car because what does he have? And I'm not trying to say this in a mean way. He needs to keep the momentum. If that momentum stops, then the money stops. The views, right? And so some people would come to me like, "Man, what you stand by this? You're okay with this?"
What, Tommy's behavior?
Yeah, a lot of it was this trans stuff, and I get it, man. And my belief is like no trans in women's sports, no trans in women's bathrooms, kiddie pools, and this type of stuff. No. But if a motherfucker's just walking by me, I don't think death on that person.
Or like, you're the scum of the earth,
right?
You don't have to. Yeah, I get you.
Some people maybe listen, man, and I think a lot of it. They say mental illness. Everybody wants to talk about mental illness. Why don't you talk about child abuse, sex abuse? I guarantee you, if you can get to the bottom of the majority of the people that are trans, there's sexual abuse. So when people would come up to me, when people come up to me, because I'm a big dude, I'm all black blocked out, and I got this Trump shit on, and they just like, man, and they weren't mean, they weren't loud to me, they just came off to the side, and many people would. Why are you protecting this dude? All I can say is free speech.
But you started to get some doubts.
And I don't know if it was doubts. I felt it became more hate. Like initially it was to instigate. We wanted to instigate Antifa, obviously.
Righteous.
We wanted to. We wanted that instigation. But once that battle was won, I'm like, why is that still your main topic? And then he doesn't debate. People could say he can debate. Well, he chooses not to. for example, and here's another situation that also is like, so we go to U of O, and in that situation, and that, if you want to ask me, have I ever been nervous or kind of afraid? That was it. That was, and Elazar, is that you say? I don't know how to say his name, but he's some guy that does the abortion stuff, and he actually does debate. But he, instead of like setting everything up like he should have, it was all in this like blue, big blue type of thing you push. And I had been again. This is the hat. We can get back. I'm sorry if this is too long, but so anyways, Tommy had initially said, "Bro, don't put Black locked up. Don't be doing that dumb shit." Everybody else on the security, whatever, had their stuff up, and I get it. A lot of them have businesses, whatever. Well, he's like, "Well, don't do that." So I just put on my little MAGA hat he gave me, and I'm just okay. I'm chilling. I don't have nothing on me, no knife, no mace, no. I just have my hands, and so I'm watching. Nobody's really watching me because I feel like William can handle himself. But then I get assaulted. Boom! I get hit in the back of the head with like one of those metal Starbucks cups, and I'm like, okay, well that's crazy. And then the next one happened where snatched my hat and ran, dude. By the time I was able to turn around, that I don't know if he's a track star in that college or who the fuck he was, but he was already like a half a football field away. And I'm like, well, that hat's gone. And that was Tommy's hat, so that hurt me. But then I'm on these walkie-talkies that are supposed to be fucking programmed, right? And I'm like, dude, I've got assaulted now 3 times, bro. Like, they're trying to go into this dude's blue thing is still hundreds of thousands or whatever the fuck it is with his stereo equipment and shit. Like, they're trying to literally grab this dude's shit. And I'm literally going like this, literally pushing people off while like security and cops are sitting there watching it. And so I'm like, we gotta go, we gotta go. So I'm trying to like move this fucking thing off in a way. And then I see homeboy's girl, a little kid. I'm like, man, if something cracks off right here, act like you don't know me. And she's like, oh shit, it must be getting real because she kind of disappeared. So I don't know where she went. But I'm like, look, because I told her, man, it could get. I've already been assaulted 3 times. The people on the team didn't know because my comms weren't working like they should have been. And so people were trying to get a hold of me. And then Tommy got hit with tomatoes and shit. So they're chasing these guys. I mean, it was the biggest shit show. And we were not ready for that. So a long story short, my hat gets taken. JD Delay, I love him. I've been watching him way before all this. His content, you can't be. We went to like people down there that hated Tommy and hated this and hated that, but then you see the wood chipper hat and they're like, "Oh, we got to support that." Nobody can not support that. So he just heard that my hat was taken. His sweaty ass head been wearing it all day. Takes it off and boom, and I got his sweat all over my fucking head, bro. Like this, and that's the hat that he had been wearing. That's the hat he did his YouTube videos. It was 101. It was custom made for him. That's what he wore in a lot of his videos, and you can fact check it. Um, Probably out of everything, that's the most awesome thing I could take away from just all of it. Even winning Patriot Weekend is I literally got the hat from like somebody who my favorite YouTuber, above Asmongold, above any of them. My favorite YouTuber. Just meeting him was insane. And unfortunately, I wasn't that big of a fanboy to be like everybody else and take pictures with him. I could have, he would have, but I never thought about it. And even after the fact, when he gave me the hat, I was just like, I almost cried right there, dog, in front of everybody. I'm like, and I must have gave him the weirdest, longest hug because it was like maybe a 6 or 7 fucking second hug when guys should only hug like maybe a second or two. But I was just like, bro, thank you so much. And yeah, I love that guy. So, anyways, that situation happened. Again, this is kind of stuff that kind of built up to me. Yeah. You know what I mean? There was a lot more than one situation that said William did this type of thing.
So you had
a lot of this hasn't been told.
Security guy coming at you. You had the streaming debates.
Right.
You had people pushing you back about the behavior with the macing.
Right.
You had people debating how to use walkie-talkies and like overcomplicating things.
Right.
You had the righteousness gone at ice. You kind of lost the mission. And then you're getting really assaulted and put in some sticky situations where it was like this is not planned well and like you're being left out to fend for yourself. All that leads to the splinter.
Yep, and then it leads into that Airbnb. I never got recognition for that. I spent my own money to supply the fridge, and the majority of the food. No, not the Airbnb itself. The Airbnb itself was CNG Trump, I believe he calls himself, had paid $1,500, but he kind of reached out to me first. Hey man, I want to get this, and so like we just built off of that, and then I linked up everybody to go who I trusted, who I felt can be at that address. I started putting that out there to everybody. Sorry, I'm sorry. Sorry, Chad, or whoever ends up watching this. But anyway, so I spent like $300, almost $400 just in that food alone. And again, it wasn't like I was doing that just for somebody to say thank you, but nobody, not a single person. Right. And then I brought a bunch of alcohol, and I ended up having to go take a bunch of stuff back to my place. And when I come back, all the alcohol was gone. And I'm like, and then they're wondering why I'm sitting in there. Well, I've already been going through a bunch of shit. Now I don't get anything for the food. I still got the receipt. And then there's people that I was literally live streaming at Costco while I was getting stuff for that. And I didn't get no thanks for that. And then I come, and then literally there's not a drop of alcohol. And people are wondering, why aren't you out here hanging out and having fun? I'm sober.
All drunk, yeah.
All the weed's gone and all the liquor's gone. And then I had that situation where we're in the beginning, I was live streaming, we were golfing, or they were golfing. Right. But I was like this, and a lot of it was, again, my face. Why? I don't know why I would be doing this and then talking. Because what would I be talking about? Whatever's happening, right? No, it was me. And I'm like, hey, guys, this, and this. And then Tommy got on there, and he was like, this, and this. I was streaming the golfing, and then I fucked up. And this is how I fucked up. Danny Rebel and Chris were on there. And I said, dude, why the fuck don't you? This was the first night that we were in the Airbnb hanging out. Dude, why don't you guys come on down? Because I must have forgot to tell them where the fuck we were. So I was like, oh, bro, we're in Tualatin. Boom. So Antifa never had the address. I believe they didn't have the address. But they knew we were in Tualatin, and they knew we were playing that golf. Yeah. So then there was a post that somebody made and made it wide that, oh, these guys are golfing in Tualatin. Shit. These guys, and again, people might hate me for what I'm about to say. The atmosphere changed. Every single person looks scared. Mm-hmm. Everybody looks scared as fuck. But you guys are down in front of ice fighting these guys on the cameras. What? And I get no, hold up. Don't think that I'm not saying that there's an optics part to it. There was no kids or family like women there as far as that's concerned. As far as on our side, it was just a bunch of dudes, and we were protected. We were protected. That's all I can say. Like if anything cracked off, that would be the wrong house. Not only that, but like 2 houses down, there was a sheriff's car. So literally an off-duty sheriff or whatever lived like 2 houses down. What's really going to happen without him popping out with his shit? Because just because you're off-duty doesn't mean you might be able to do something, right? So, and I'm like, yo, this is weird. Like, why is like everybody was scared though? Even people that had things to handle themselves. And I'm like, and then nothing ended up happening. There was no swatting. Like 3 people got on the phone, not emergency, talking about before you get swatted. Now you can Google that place, that Airbnb, and then you have to rent it, and then it shows the address. It's not like, I mean, I guess unless you've been there previously, right? Like, sure, you'll know the address, but for Antifa, just on a whim, right. Google it, try to find it. Okay, well, go ahead and book and then unbook, or however you do it. That's the only way you can get the address.
But that was the official crack. Yep. Night. And then by the next day or the next couple of days, there was like lead text messages from both sides, right? Things were online. Everybody's mad at each other. And you got ostracized.
It was the lies. Because the only people that would know any of that would be the group of people that I'm around. Right. Wouldn't be all these people across the country that are fuck William and fuck this, which I ended up, that's what ended up the crash out, was all the noise from outside.
Why wouldn't you had thousands of people? That's insane, man. What was that like?
They hurt me because of all the bullshit. They were like, oh, he was never out there for Tommy. How can you say that? I got nicknames. I got like Uncle Fester because Climatics would be like, he interviewed me, and he was like, all we see is something would happen, and we see this bald guy just like this. Whenever something happened, you know. Again, there was times like I did a citizen's arrest. There was a dude that came and made somebody that was walking towards the spaghetti factory. I grabbed his backpack and I literally did a citizen's arrest. I'm yelling, citizen's arrest, citizen's arrest. I got 20 Antifa trying to pull that guy off me. I look back and there's three dudes like, hey, we got you, Will. So I just held this dude. The biker cop dudes jumped out and got this dude. Boom. The time that Tommy talks about, when the dude in full green came at him, I knew what was going to happen. There was no doubt that dude was going to do something. I didn't know what. I grabbed this dude and I put him in a bear hug for like 6 seconds. Tommy was like, let him go, let him go. The dude ran to his car and was about to like run over the police and other people. But I wasn't there. I wasn't there to protect Tommy.
No, that all went out the window, and you had Cam Higby, even JD at one point. People were calling you Antifa.
JD did?
No, I don't know if he actually. He went after you at one point.
Did he?
Yeah.
We're talking about the same guy?
Yeah, JD DeLay. I may be wrong. Let's look it up later.
Yeah.
But my point being, you had all these big guys with hundreds of thousands of followers.
Nick Sorter is the funniest one. You know why?
Why?
Where is he? No. Look at his ex. Where is he talking about Portland anymore? The funniest thing, when we were in Seattle, he was the biggest joke, and he still is, bro, because he was like, I'm done with Will. When the fuck have you ever been about Will to be done with Will? Like, who the fuck are you? You're not from Portland. How the fuck are you? Like, out of everything, bro, the one that I think is on the most bullshit, and this is even, Cam can be Cam. I don't like what he did, but Nick Shorter is the weirdest, bro. I'm done with Will. Okay, be done with me, bro. I don't give a fuck about you. And I knew that once he left, because he came back just a couple times after that, he
Do you think some of these guys were just using the story for their own?
I believe so. I think they came down to, not all of them, maybe a few, but I think they came down just to ride that. You know what I mean? Just to shake Tommy's hand. They knew he was creating all this stuff. He was having 50,000 views, 100 and some thousand views on Patriot Weekend. He's this big thing. Let's go down there. Now maybe we can. They didn't want to go down there for Honey Badger and anything else. I mean, let's be honest, bro. This is why I still think Tommy had a big play in it, bro, because
that was the viral moment.
Where the fuck was people with Honey Badger? She's been doing it for years, man. And then Tommy knocks out some fools, and now he's internet famous, ex-famous or whatever. And then people just start coming in. Chad comes in. Chad's a savage, man. I have a lot of respect for that dude. So just him coming in brought in like a lot of real veterans down there. A lot of people from around Portland started coming in. You know, like real vets and shit. You know what I mean? Like real motherfuckers. Because of these guys coming in. So a lot of it, I think, was not the nefarious. If that means I think there was just a handful of people that did come down to try to use that as something. Because you look at Chad, you look at Nick Shirley, JD. These people still put out content about Portland, whereas where is Nick Sorter putting out content about Portland? So,
but this pretty much brings us to yesterday, the blanket situation. Do you want to talk about that? I assume you accidentally pulled it out when you brought your stuff back.
This is something that people don't know. Is so at the college, when he got that blanket, it was, I think, Oregon State, not University of Oregon. It was Oregon State. He had been carrying it around. So, hey, Will, hold on to this. So I take the blanket, I take it into Costa's Jeep, right? And then it was in the Jeep until the Airbnb, and then when I used we used Costa's car to take a lot of my stuff, because I brought so much shit that I wanted to get it out just in case in the morning Costin could, because he was going to DC.
Right.
So he might not have been able to take me home. I said, well, worst case, maybe I take a lift. But that's a lot of shit. So I ended up taking all my stuff to my house. My bulletproof vest was in a black trash bag, along with a couple other things like my helmet, and just miscellaneous stuff that couldn't fit in like a normal bag type situation. It was just a black trash bag. somehow the blanket in between the college and the Airbnb, because there was time between that, ended up in that black garbage bag. And so people would say this is a lie. They could say whatever they're going to. But anyway, so when I go to my house, I'm no longer going down there at ice. Remember, right. So I don't need to go into that bag to get the helmet to get. So
you didn't even know you
got it. And you know what's crazy is I moved a lot of stuff to storage, just stuff I didn't need, but stuff I wasn't going to sell. Like all the donations I got, I worked hard for those. I wasn't just going to sell them. People think I sold them or whatever. I don't know what they think I did to them. So, anyways, I moved a bunch of stuff to the storage I have, and I was gonna. There was another vest that was given to me, so there was two vests in that black bag. The homeboy that came down brought one of these. Like, man, the one I have is lightweight and it can take a rifle round. That's all it can do. But this one he brought was like the plated ones. But motherfuckers, I don't know how I don't know how Army or any of those guys actually wear those. It was like 70 pounds, bro. And so I'm like, well, okay, so I put it in storage. Somebody had reached out to me who was a friend and said, look, man, I know you're not going down there anymore, but I know you got that vest, that actual real vest. Can I get it? And I said, okay. And this was like a day prior to me posting the video. And so I go to get that vest, and holy shit, there's the blanket in there. So I'm like, okay. And again, me and Tommy never be. I'm just crashing out. We're kind of at war. So it goes, but just not with this type of camera. It's like, so William, that blanket, like, oh well, it is what it is. But
all right. So we were saying, that was the night they surrounded your house. What was that like?
So just to make sure we did the other parts taken care of. We're going to this part, right?
Yes.
Okay.
We were on the surrounding part.
Sorry, guys, if this gets whatever, he's probably gonna clip it out. But his phone died. So, anyways, so they're surrounding my house, and people are like, William, why didn't you come out? Well, I mean, there's obviously reasons. He said multiple times on live, I'm here by myself.
Which was not true.
Tommy was not there by himself. And again, this is not me talking shit. This is just stating facts. I don't know how to explain it, man. I'm just glad that nobody came through my window and nobody kicked in the door.
It was dangerous for people inside and outside.
It was dangerous for people outside. You want to know why I say that? Not a single one of those individuals are legal to own a gun. So if there would have been a gun on them and I cracked off, sure, I'm sure I would have probably been in handcuffs while everything was figured out. Whatever situation would have happened, that would have just looked bad on that part, if that makes sense. So I was just thinking to myself, man, if they come in, and I told, because I was on 911 myself. I mean, this is absolutely wild. I mean, I could see Tommy coming, banging on the door, but then all the fanboys and people around it were banging on the windows. I mean, everybody could say that's not how that goes.
Right.
And I've got cameras all around the apartment complex. They were just wilding out. They were just not caring. And so I'm on 911. I'm like, look, this is Thomas Allen. If he kicks in the door, I will shoot. Somehow the 911 operator switched me to the actual cops. I didn't know they could do that.
Wow.
For real. I never knew the 911 officer or the 911 person could put you during direct comment with the cops.
Right.
And I told them the same thing. You can put this on record, bro. If they come through the window, if they come through the door, I will shoot. So the cops ended up getting there. Took them forever.
Well, in between, your neighbor came out with the gun.
Listen, man, can I be real? And they don't want no problems with the neighbor. That specific one, he's a vet. And I know that dude. And he's lost people. And he doesn't do this. He doesn't do that weird, whatever the fuck was going on down there. And so Tommy looked scared. Like he rolled the fuck out. And he's like, oh, I'm so sorry. Because that dude, bro, what they were doing was not okay. And especially a mob of people. You don't go to somebody's house. Now I could see why he did, but it should have been just him. But when you bring other people and you're banging on the windows, it's a bad look. So if we're going to talk optics and all this, and it cost is doing this, I would have had to just use the apartment complex's cameras to get anything. But Kosh streamed it. I hope he learned. If you think you're going to do some shit that may not look good, don't record the motherfuckers doing it. Because that little gator he was wearing also doesn't stop the eyes and this stuff. And please, come on, man. Detectives, if they really looked into it, anybody looked into it, they could identify what that is. Just because you're wearing this doesn't protect. So anyways, I was just hoping, man, nobody was going to come in that window. And then they were like, oh, well, throw the blanket out. Do I trust that? I can't see. See what cops do? If it's a scary situation, they knock and then they go like this. Because they're not trying to have anything happen through the door, right? So I'm like, who's possibly right there? How many people are right there? Because again, Tommy was saying he's alone, but he's not. I'm going to open that door and then what? What could happen? And then I create a situation because now they're not kicking in the door. Maybe now, because like what happened at Chandler's Poop Shack is they were right there on the door, almost trying to get in. So what are they going to do at my house? They, you know? So I'm like, I didn't want to also create that situation where I would be assaulted or they would try to come in because my door's open and then I would have to do that action.
So the police told them basically, you can't be here, you can't be doing this. And
everybody was concerned about the blanket and they wanted the police to just like kick in the door and get the blanket. Unfortunately, that's not how it works. That theft, especially with the cop. So listen, so the death by cop thing is a true thing. But the thing is, that was in 2020. My mom had passed away. I didn't want to live, dude. I really didn't. I didn't own guns at that time either. And so, what am I going to do? I thought to myself, well, I'll jump in front of a match train, right? But then I'm thinking, damn, what am I going to do? Maybe that operator. Because I'd heard a story from somebody else who, a lady, committed suicide and he just couldn't handle himself. He ended up quitting and whatever happened to him, like that just destroyed his life. So I'm thinking, well, I can't do something where somebody else would feel a certain way about it. So I'm like, okay, well, fuck this. I had a counselor at the time. I said, fuck this. I'm going to kill myself. I'm going to kill cops. I'm going to do all this type of shit, right? And so I get a call from an officer. So what's going on, William? I'm like, death by cop, bitch. And he's like, have a great day, and hang up. His first thing was like, do you want to hurt anybody else? I'm like, no. So at the end of the day, I'm not threatening anybody else. So I guess his way was to diffuse the situation, was like, we're not going to come out and kill you. We're not going to come out and shoot you. Just because you want to say you want to do something, we're not going to come out. So that's on my file or whatever. So whenever police
it's a real thing, but not triggered by that night at the
no. So what I'm saying is this happened in 2020.
Right.
Because of that, I'm sure it's on that. When they pull up, when the cops run my name, they're like, oh, this death by cop thing.
Right.
So then the cop goes, and it's stupid. He was stupid. Those cops were stupid in multiple ways. But this one was stupid. They tell them, oh, well, we're not going to do anything at all or even go to the door because death by cop. We're not going to shoot him over a blankie. Stupid. And so, and then he's like, he owns guns. Because everybody's under this assumption. But see, I'm not going to be on my ex dude showing on doing that type of shit. Because that probably would amp the thing up if some lunatic is waving around and showing a bunch of shit. So, yeah, that situation happened.
So the next day, we talked.
Right.
And you agreed to exchange the blanket, but you also had a bit of a breakdown and like talk to me about that. What were you thinking? What did you learn about yourself?
You know, our conversation was good. I appreciate it. There a little bit, I felt, how can I make this exchange? And then, while I respected you, I didn't know if maybe you were on their side and there was going to be a bunch of people that's going to come out at Nighthawk or something. And so I didn't want to create that situation because I would have came out with that. And then if I would have been attacked, I probably would have used that. I didn't want that. I really don't want that, honestly. No matter what people think, I don't want that at all. And so then I messaged, fuck. If when you snip that, could you remove that, please? Please. So, anyways, I got a hold of a mutual friend and said, "Hey, man, can we set up? You can come get this." He actually came out and prayed with me as I was handing that off, and like once I go to treatment and get better, I can start going to church with them and stuff, so that we still got our friendship. Um, and so yeah, Tommy got the blanket back, and supposedly he was on an interview, and he went live later that night saying, "Hey, it's squashed. I'm done with the drama with Will." So hopefully that's the case, because
how do you feel about it? Is it squashed for you? Where are you at?
I was just burning shit down, bro. I was so cornered. I was so backed into shit. And now that some other things have been released, there's more to the story than just William just flipped on one thing.
Right.
I was burning it all down because there would be spaces where they would just talk about me.
Yeah.
Even after I tried saying, well, I would drop it, there would be people in these spaces from across the country.
The thing I was saying about me, sometimes I wish I wasn't a journalist so I could say my opinion. It's exhausting, like emotionally, to go down there every night. But when I get home, I do get to check out a bit, and I'm not involved. I'm not the story.
Right.
You had to come back, and it's still alive online. You're still getting. There's no getting away from it.
Like they're not talking about Dustin, other than he got evicted, but they're not talking about Dustin. They're not talking about Captain America, who literally was getting people's addresses and attacking women, and the stolen valor and just all that. I'm the big villain. And they come to my house. But everybody knows that dude's place. And he spit on Tommy, and he's done foul shit to people. But they come to my house. It's whatever.
But we're here today. Like, where are you at with the whole situation? Do you think there's a future where you and the Patriot group talk again, or will you be political again? Where are you at?
I'll definitely never be at Patriot Corner behind Tommy.
The old way.
Yeah. Again, I will, once my restrictions are lifted, I'll be back at ICE. Because people think that I love Antifa or that I'm undercover Antifa. I'm not.
Your beliefs are the same.
And if anybody at that Patriot Corner wants to come up and be like, fuck you, Will, and try to do whatever, well, then I guess we'll just be sitting there fucking dumbass yelling at each other until one person gets mad enough to swing. And then I guess it's cracking. If somebody chooses to assault me down there randomly, then we can crack off, and I guess the cops will see that they assaulted me, and then it'll be the dumb shit. They'll get arrested for harassment or whatever to be, and then it'll just be a bunch of that. But and that's even if that, right? Because the weather, bro. Like, why would I just go down there if it's only 2 people in a blowy,
right?
And maybe 3 of the guys with those weird scarves. They're not necessarily black. Like, what would I really be doing down there? So I don't know when, but I could say if it gets to a point where I feel like, hey, I'm just, bro, I'm a $20 ride from my place to there, and it only takes 10 minutes. So
imagine you're 10 years in the future and you're looking back on this time. What do you take from it? What are you thinking?
Man, I think your video. I think that video, you just showing how many people we were the parade, man. There might have been 12 of us, and 4 of you guys, at least 3 of you guys, were just journaling it. You had no, you had no side you were doing. You were just videoing it. So we were really outnumbered in just the fact of that. And then Patriot Weekend itself, I was there. Hate me, go ahead and hate me and say this, and this about William. I was there for that. I was a part of that. Obviously there's some regrets, but I could forget. That'll end up just going away. the negative will actually just go away. And sure, maybe, okay, well, William crashed out a little bit, but I'll remember the positives. I'll remember the times that I would post with Tommy somewhere eating out or whatever, and I'd be like, sorry, dog. It would be like the calm in the storm. Cause you'd have all this shit, bro. I'm sorry, dude.
Good man.
Anyways, those were the times I'll remember. Not the bullshit. Tommy personally never. My crash out had nothing to do with Tommy. It was people around Tommy, and majority. It was really one main person that wasn't really there. And again, whatever for whatever reason, and I could see when Tommy was streaming, like when he first knew that because I sent everybody a text message, Ocean. I send everybody after the Airbnb. I said I can't do this no more, and I sent it to everybody. And then he got online. He's like, "Well, guys, I don't think Will's gonna be here anymore." And people pointed out that because you could tell he looked sad, he looked whatever. I'm not saying he was afraid that oh my God, William's not here to protect me. You could tell, bro. He really cared, right? A lot of people was in his ear, and maybe he had to say things to me because a lot of people were in his ear, and I get it. And some things he did come to me, right? Which were I just had to accept it. And then the blanket thing was a big troll, right? People say that I stole it. I mean, I did have it in my possession. It wasn't malicious. It became malicious because I knew I had it, and then I did that video, and I could see, man, just he was hurt. Like he was angry, bro, and he got everybody riled up. She's thank you, but anyways, I could tell he was hurt, and so then when you reached out to me, that put the ball in motion to just get this back. And
you were hurt too,
man. I've been hurt. People say, "Oh, look at the SSR eyes," because I'd be crying, bro. This whole thing was, and I know that I'm a big part of it because I just crashed out on everybody. Yeah, I don't know what else to say. If Tommy ever called me, man, it was like, bro, I need you. What do you think? I mean, honestly, bro, heartbeat. I would be there in a heartbeat, man.
You're a protector, Will.
I made a lot of mistakes, and I crashed out, man, and it made it worse, obviously. But a lot of people won't believe me, man. But I believe I was there for the right reasons. Again, there were some mistakes that were made. Um, when I was growing up, man, if your friend swung, you swung. If your friend got assaulted, it wasn't like this one on one or this because you think one on one is like a honorable thing, but if there's violence being on you, you just handle it. And so like maybe I'm not built. Maybe I wasn't built for that. The whole just bickering back and forth. Does that make sense? Maybe I wasn't built for that. And so I appreciate you, Ocean, man. I've always told you, man, I respect what you do. Every time I saw you down there, I respect you because you don't pick sides. You try to talk to everybody, and I do appreciate that. I do appreciate you reaching out for the blank situation, and yeah, from here out, I don't know. I just hope that I mean, Tommy said multiple times that he's cool with me, so hopefully that'll die down the super craziness. And I could just kind of go